driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome. You find some buttons over there to play with?
I accidentally hit one and it just sounded weird.
Hit that blue one again. Like it.
Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the South Texas TV studios alongside Ash the Great, the Wade of Wade and Carter. I am Brent, your other.
Why is it Ash the Great this morning? Are you invoking my Russian heritage?
I'm just
Am I
looking
like
up.
Peter the Great?
Yes, exactly.
Why can't I be Ash the Terrible?
You're not
Ivan the Terrible.
You're not that
I'm
way.
Not, I know.
Real quick shout out this morning, little Rylan. Rylan Petru turns 11 today.
Happy birthday, Rylan.
If he doesn't do anything
11.
stupid at school today, he's on the way to 12.
He'll get there.
He'll get there. He's a fine young
Eventually.
man. His mama's done a great job. Great job, Donnie.
I hear you made him a feast fit for a king this morning.
I
Here,
did.
King. Here, King.
I was up early. I feel like I walked in from Palace Bingo last night, which we'll get to in a minute with the Palace Bingo update. Also brought to you by First State Bank of Louise.
It's called a Wednesday today, too.
And I feel like I rinsed my face, brushed my teeth, laid down, and then got up and then made breakfast.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Junior Samples checking in. Diane Tippett. We're so in St. Louis this morning. Patricia Nagel, Ricky King, Marvin Mickish, Greg Garcia, Lisa Poole, Dottie Bitterly, Judge Posey. Good morning, Mark Kurtz.
Where in Texas is St. Louis?
I don't know.
Because Junior doesn't
Fort
leave
St.
the
Louis.
state. Yeah,
Kendra Douglas, Stuart Martin. Good morning, Bobby Leister.
Leister
Bobby Leister looking for Caldo Wednesday.
He'll be there. Good morning, Patricia Nagel.
Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the fine folks at AT Deerlam Hay and Feed. 69 degrees this morning, folks. A little cooler this morning. You can feel the difference.
It's only 72 right now, heading to a high of 100 under sunny skies.
Tammy Keeling, good morning. Yeah, I got up. It was a little nipply in the air this morning. It was nice.
To expand, because we do have such a broad following, there is some weather concern in coastal Florida.
Yeah, right on the, they call it the Big Bend. Others call it the armpit.
Yeah, the armpit of Florida.
Yeah, but, I got some friends over there. Drew Watson, who checks into the show.
Tallahassee, Gainesville,
Lakeland area, but they're getting a lot
Tampa.
of hammered with rain and winds. But, yeah, be careful. It's
They're all on the kind of the south side of that storm, but I think you're looking at
there's Nick Rule checking in.
some issues. There's
Yeah.
Joe Cheney. Good morning, bud.
Well, there's really nowhere for the water to go in Florida. I mean, it's a swamp. So if they get any sort of rain, it'll flood things out. So
Joe Cheney asks, "Hey, where's y'all's mask?" I'll tell you what. I'm just
bend
not
over. I'll
gonna
show you where I'm
do
going to
it.
put it, Joe.
I'm not going to do it this time. You know, once we got through the pandemic last time, once it served its political purpose, and then all of a sudden it was over with.
Yeah, well,
Not that it ever went away. It was just not in the news anymore because it didn't serve the Democrats.
now it's in the news because
It's sneaking up on an election, and we need drive-through voting, and we need mail, and we need to know now so we can mail ballots.
we need people to harvest ballots
Gotta-
and turn them all in at once.
You've got to help the old people vote. They're sick and they're scared, and you've got to help them vote. Hell, I'm an old person. I ain't buying it. I'm not doing it. My mother yesterday needed to go to the doctor, and I went into the doctor's office, and I looked around. There's a bunch of old sick people sitting in there with their masks on. I'm like, aren't y'all tired of breathing your breath? None of you people floss. You know how bad your breath is? Y'all know. You know what old people breath is? And I was just like, I told the lady behind the counter, she rushed. Oh, here's your N95. I go, you know they don't work, right? They don't work. Everybody's got one on. I don't need one because they don't work.
I'll take my chances.
Unbelievable. It's just such a joke. I'm tired of it. And it's follow the sheep. And if you really believe that wearing a mask is going to keep you from getting COVID, then you're an idiot. Either you got it last time or you're going to get it this time. It's a cold. The variant has been shown to be extremely weak. Even Bill Posey could whip COVID this time. Hello, Colonel Mike.
Colonel Mike, good morning.
We just don't have time to deal with COVID.
No,
Not dealing with that crap anymore.
Nick Rule says no masks in Iowa.
Same thing, just like flu season. If you're old, if you're fat, if you're sick, stay home. We'll take care of it for you. But don't shut down the economy. Joe Biden just gave us back 13.5 million jobs, and his Inflation Reduction Act is making your prices cheaper. That's official tweet from the White House. That guy's a bold-faced liar.
He is a bold-faced liar. Cost me $10 more this week to fill my truck up than it did a week ago.
Yeah, there is
but
nothing
prices are
cheaper.
Dropping. Yeah,
there is nothing cheaper under Joe Biden.
No.
Except our reputation in the world.
Absolutely. The meme we shared on the Wade and Carter page yesterday was pretty good. Imagine, what's his name from, imagine, if you will, a virus so smart it only appears every 4 years.
Right. Exactly.
During presidential elections. Because that's what they're
Is
doing.
It the guy from Twilight Zone?
Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you.
What was
they're
his
setting,
name?
Rod Serling. There we go. Because they're setting it up. And this time, they're not setting in the panic like they did in 2020.
No, because it's going to be a more controlled
But they're
deal.
Paving the road.
They're ramping it
Yep,
up.
that's exactly what they're doing.
Right here in November, the first week in November, we're just going to everybody just kind of stay home. If you don't have the new booster, you can't go. So when Republicans go, I ain't getting the booster. I ain't getting your booster. That's stupid. If you don't have the booster, you can't go to the polls.
Laura Jecker, good morning. Junior Samples. Dottie Bitterly says, like I mentioned yesterday, I'd like to know more about the cancer risk from N95. Let me see if I can't find that for you.
By the way, B. Small said, if you need me, I'll be at the house. Because he's old, fat, and sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice.
That's nice of you to call him old, fat, and sick.
Well, that's what he was saying. If you need me, I'll be home.
Yeah.
I'm just not buying it. We all agreed. Once we all put the masks away, I had so many people, I know you did as well, so many people said to me, looking back, that was kind of dumb, wasn't it? I mean, it really was kind of dumb. Now they're like, oh, where's that mask? Oh, got to get it. So stupid.
Well, this study was from the Journal of Ectotoxicology and Environmental Safety. And researchers in South Korea, this is according to the Epoch Times this morning, because it was the one that just came up when I searched for it. But they said that they looked at different masks, including cotton masks, and the KF94 mask, which is a popular type of disposable mask. And they found that there were 4 different types of volatile organic compounds detected in the K94 masks at concentrations higher than other masks comprised of fabrics like cotton.
Well, they're all made in foreign countries. None of them are made like in a plant.
Well,
in
there's the
Houston.
problem, because they were
could
made
lace
in
it
China.
with fentanyl. They could lace it with fentanyl and you could die. You're breathing through it.
And what they found, that in some cases, cancer could be caused by some of the chemicals that are used in making these things. And they certainly cause you to have problems and irritation with your eyes, nose, and throat, according to what they found out. Difficulty breathing, headaches, nausea, damage to the central nervous system and other organs.
And then cancer, it says some cases in animals. How did they get those animals to wear that mask?
I have no idea.
Study it. Get the mask back on the horse.
But they found that when you wore the mask when temperatures were higher, when it was hotter,
Probably sicker.
the concentrations of these chemicals were 100 to 300% higher, folks.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason God gave you an exhaust valve. Go out there and put a pillow, get some duct tape.
That's why you have hair in your nostrils. Trap all that
duct
stuff.
tape and take the pillow off your bed and go duct tape it around the exit of your muffler, your exhaust pipe. Now go drive your truck and see how your truck drives. Trying to blow the exhaust through that. We weren't meant to breathe. I would rather stay. By the way, the CDC finally admitted that 6 feet, it's just a number we made up.
Yeah.
Number we made up.
And no, there was no scientific study to determine 6 feet.
No.
They could have as easily said 20 feet, 3 feet. Didn't matter.
So many things.
But again, the common sense that we've used to deal with every virus and disease that we've learned over time, we just threw it out the window with this one in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Stay home if you're sick. Stay away from people if you're sick.
Scotty asked, are we getting American-made masks or masks made in China? I saw a video of, it was a clean place, but this kid, he was young, was wearing shorts and a sleeveless T-shirt and was barefoot with the feet that he walked to the building with. And he's making masks and flipping them on the ground. Making masks and flipping them on the ground. And they're all around his little dirty feet.
Roy Gutierrez says CDC is recommending masks again. Yet 85% of their staff still working from home. Yeah, a lot of federal agencies
I'm not
never stopped working from home. Where's all that vast waste of money going?
I'm going to tell you this right now. If I have to wear a mask, I'm not going. I ain't going. They start telling me to wear a mask at HEB, I'll just have it delivered. I'm not going. And that costs them money because when you have it delivered, you only buy what you choose to buy. If you go to HEB, every time you grab a couple extra things just because you're there.
Joe Cheney says new bill that takes effect September 1, Senate Bill 29, prohibits state and local government entities from implementing certain COVID-19 preventative measures like mandated face masks, COVID-19 vaccines. Also prohibits closure of private businesses and schools due to COVID-19.
Good.
Bill signed by Abbott takes effect in 2 days.
God bless Greg
believe
Abbott.
this would make Texas the second state in the country to enact a similar law.
Who's the other one? Florida.
Yeah.
The two common sense states of the union.
And I get it. Our bills typically take effect on September 1, but there was no cost to that one. The state could have said, as soon as we sign it, let's put it into law.
You know, though, I'm at the point.
Gave them a window just in case.
It used to be a romantic thought to say, you know, Texas ought to just secede. And I've had people say that we have the constitutional right to do so, but that we couldn't really pull it off and that it wouldn't work. And all that. Can you imagine if the state of Texas actually seceded, ramped up our petrochemical production, began trading on the open global market, and cleaned up our border? Can you imagine what the state of Texas would be worth globally?
More than Australia.
We're already bigger than Australia. We have a bigger GDP than Russia. It's unfathomable how important the state of Texas would be globally, immediately. We could have an alliance somewhere along the way with Arizona and control most of the Mexican border. If they all want to go into New Mexico, who cares? There's only 8 people in New Mexico anyway. There's 8 people there.
We'd have to control the New Mexico border too, right? If we're our own country.
Yeah.
If we truly believe in sovereign borders.
That's what would happen. They would come up into New Mexico and then come over like at, El Paso. Wouldn't it be something?
Raton.
It would be awesome if we just had our own little country.
We'd call it the Raton Death March.
Tejas.
Stephanie Connie says she was forced to wear them while climbing towers and vessels carrying heavy items up 150 feet.
Dumbest thing ever. You're up in fresh air, outside. Wear your mask.
Yeah. Talk about insurrections. I truly think that if mandates go into effect, I think the revolt of people will be truly of insurrection proportion. I do.
And I think it's coming because I think the Dems want to dip their toe in the water of control again. They want to see how much control they have.
You were showing me a tweet last night. Yeah, what Nick Rule brings out the obvious. You'd still have Austin though.
True story.
But I wonder how much it would change. Seriously, I think you would find enough former Californians who fled there and with all their liberalese in their head,
ship them back,
and they would probably leave Texas if Texas formed its own country.
And I couldn't be any happier. No. Have you met anybody from California that moved here? I really haven't. I don't know anybody that's moved here from California. Of course, people from Corpus don't move to Victoria. So
B. Small says the Rangers would then have a chance at being world champions.
Right. Speaking of, the Astros update brought to you by the great folks at First State Bank of Louise. Great time to tell you, and with Patricia Nagel listening, the Astros have now moved into a three-way tie. The Mariners lose last night 3-1 to the Oakland A's.
Yes.
And the Rangers lose 2-1 to whoever they played. Whoever beat them. Astros win. Astros win. Who did the Astros beat last night?
Bo Sox.
Yeah.
Rangers lost to the Mets.
They
beat the Mets, sorry.
Oh, the Rangers beat the Mets?
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah.
Well, then how do we end up – how are we in a tie with them?
Because we were tied. We were both a game back of the Mariners.
Okay. We both won.
Yes.
We both won. Mariners lost. Now we have a three-way tie at the top. And those pesky Angels are only 12.5 back with the Oakland A's 36.5 games back.
Mariners have won 8 of their last 10. Rangers have won 2 straight and 3 of 10.
Not ideal.
Astros are the hottest team in that bunch right now. They need to get on a tear.
Baltimore
Mariners
Orioles
can cool off.
Orioles playing great baseball. Do you think of – I see the record. They're 83-49. They're 8-10 over their last 10. Do you see the Orioles as a
second best
Series
record? Second best record in the majors.
Do you see them as a World Series contender?
No, I mean they're overachieving this year. That's the honest truth. I don't know, and maybe they win it this year. That's an anomaly. I don't know that the Orioles are a team that'll come back and have the success next year that they're having this year.
Yep. Regardless
of how it ends. Look at that. Oakland and Kansas City, the only 2 teams in the majors that have been officially eliminated from the playoff
race.
Isn't
something?
But, your Astros, big win last night again. Boston.
Bregman with a home run. Alvarez with a home run. The power show continues. The Astros are on fire offensively. I look for that to continue. Who pitched last night?
France. France bounced back after being shellacked.
Win?
Yeah, he did. After being shellacked 17 he was a losing pitcher in that 17-1
Is he technically
debacle.
a rookie?
Good question. I don't know. Light schedule tonight. Only 4 games on the sked for the. Today's Wednesday. I keep thinking it's Thursday for some reason.
We play Boston.
We finished
with
Boston afternoon game, but tomorrow's Fromber's on the mound.
Fromber had 7 innings of no-hit ball last week. Has had a no-hitter in the month of August.
Then didn't get them. And then Presley blew the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presley hasn't been the Presley we like.
No. Tomorrow's the light day. Sorry, I keep thinking today is Thursday for some reason, even though I know it's Caldo Wednesday.
Don't you feel like the Yankees ought to beat Detroit when it's Garrett Cole versus undecided? They don't know who they're going to put out there.
They have no clue.
I like Garrett Cole in that game.
But don't matter. Astros update brought to you by the fine folks at First State Bank. Stop on by for all your banking needs. If you want
friendliest bank anywhere.
Yeah, if you want land, they'll cut you a deal.
15% down, 30 years to pay. That's a lot. I mean, that's what that does is allows people to speculate on land futures. If you're otherwise, they want 25, 30% down. They want you to pay it off in 10 years. Like, you're committed to that land. You're not buying it to flip.
No,
you're buying it to build. They're like saying, hey, if you find a piece of land you think you may want to build on it someday, you can tie up 15%. It's $200,000, put down 30 and finance the rest for 30 years. It's like having a mortgage. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Great time last night. Both Monica and Tommy Yost. IRS, you listening? They both won.
They already got their cut.
They already won.
Yeah, they won the 2 second biggest games. Nicely done.
Wade and Carter group there. We probably had a dozen folks there from Wade and Carter, and there weren't 24 people there.
No. And yet we only won 2 games.
Yeah.
3 maybe.
Thing was rigged.
Yeah. Lisa Poole won as well.
She did well. Gray Barn Design, Gray Barn Mercantile. You can look now for the new gray
Andy Rokovich, always a bridesmaid last night.
Yeah.
He was 1 number away constantly.
Oh, he would go. I'll trade you. I'll trade you my computer for yours.
Yeah. Should have made that trade a couple of
Gray
times.
Barn Design, Gray Barn Mercantile. Let Cheryl decorate your life. She'll be in there today, 10 o'clock. Go by and say hi. Right there at the corner of Airline and Laurent.
Those leather chairs are still for sale, I think, and they're on sale.
There's a lot of
$150 a piece.
There's a lot of good. Aren't they kind of a glove leather color? They're like
they're
butter.
Yeah, and they're like a metal frame, and they're really comfortable to sit in.
Stylish and comfortable.
Yeah,
and inexpensive.
And a Frank Lloyd Wright original.
Is that right? Get by there.
I don't know.
No
Sounds
kidding.
good, though.
AJ's detailing. Let AJ
Only architect I know.
spruce up your vehicle. I am pay. Did the
I forgot about him, yeah.
at the Louvre. Get by.
AJ's detailing.
Philip Johnson did some homes, some buildings.
Armor Air for all your air conditioning needs, wants, service.
579-0966. They
can do
do
it
a
all.
great job.
They do
Ryan,
a really good job.
Fantastic folks.
And the thing is, when they come out there and they say, hey, you probably could get by another couple of months with this, but
It's going to go
it's
out.
going to go. We can do it now. It'll save you money because you're not going to pay for another trip out here.
And your AC bill will
Or
go
if
down with
yeah.
more efficient unit.
So, yeah, but they don't just do it and then ding you with a surprise bill at the end either. They walk you through all the steps. So if your budget only allows you to do this, they'll recommend what. I've only got this much budgeted for my AC repair. What is
$50.
absolutely necessary, and they'll tell you that, and then they'll say this is the stuff that can probably wait.
But I will give them an attaboy and say
like
they
it.
have blended right in. When you look at people like USA Concrete Coating at 578 Home or Went Services for turnkey generator service, Armor Air fits right in with those people that we not only recommend, we have used, and we do know. Their word is their bond. If they tell you they're going to do something, they do it. And if it's not done right the first time, they're not going to charge you to redo it. They take good care of their customers, and Armor Air has been a wonderful champion of that
Wonderful,
effort.
wonderful.
Sure, wonderful day.
They're awesome.
Scott Dunker says he can't wait for the energy-efficient ceiling fans.
There's Sandra Health checking in. Good
Good
morning
morning,
to you, ma'am.
Sandra.
Daniel Bird, good morning.
You talk about long-suffering. She's been married to Ronnie since like the 70s. Bless her heart. All those years with Ronnie Helt,
Heroes.
Big-
Not every hero wears a cape.
big cuddly bundle of joy.
Ronnie's awesome.
He is awesome. They're very, very generous and caring folks. Saw Will Vincent there. Saw him yesterday.
Good morning to you, Will. Cody Bauman checking in. Tom Price. Peter McNally.
Hello,
This
Mr.
is
McNally.
nice or boring. Stay on sports. Nick Rule says, I bet Dusty Baker wears a mask. Dusty
Oh, I
will
bet he
wear
does
one.
with the black
Yeah.
gloves. Pete's at home right now, all alone in Beaumont. Got a mask on. You know he does. He's a rule follower.
B. Smalls fact checking you. Says Rangers didn't lose.
No, they didn't.
I'm rolling back here because I think I missed a couple people. That
I'm hopeful. I'm
Checked
hopeful
in.
they lose. They're going to fade. They're like, what, 4-6 over the last 10? They're going to
yeah,
they're going to
They're
fade.
going to fade. Astros are going to win it.
Have we done our football picks for this weekend?
Not yet. B. Small says you're wearing your Victorious Zookeeper shirt today.
I am wearing my GSM
Scott
insurance
Tomko
shirt,
calls you Brent Irwin.
right?
Hey, there's Alex Alvarez. Good morning to you, sir. Sheriff Louderback checking in.
Hello,
Saw
Alex.
him for a brief flyby yesterday.
He did come by. How many? And let me just make that statement. How good is Palace Bingo that Marcy and AJ just stopped by to eat?
Yeah.
They didn't come by to play bingo.
No, they came to eat,
Got some food, got some nachos.
said hi, and left.
I think they got some nachos, and those nachos got down in that gullet, and they said, oh, I got to go to the house. Taking it to the
They
ranch.
cheese up their nachos. Are pretty good.
Oh, man, it's good.
It's good stuff.
Food's good.
Yeah, we got to figure out a day though, because I think Thursdays are next couple months are pretty much shot for both of us. So we'll figure out another day, and we got time now.
It's time
Oh.
for some college football season.
Speaking of which,
Be small. Who does Baylor have this weekend?
what was up with some of the cuts in the NFL yesterday? Bailey Zappi. I mean, there was talk, and not just amongst you and I and the people of Victoria, because Bailey Zappi's, from here.
Right.
But there was talk among some NFL pundits that maybe Bailey Zappi should be starting over Mac Jones. We knew it wasn't going to happen because all the money was invested in Mac Jones. But does it make any sense that the New England Patriots cut Bailey Zappi yesterday? They're a legit backup quarterback, and Malik Cunningham. They have no quarterbacks left behind Mac Jones now.
Well, they're committed. They've said Jones is their guy, but I don't
They're
understand.
paying him $1 gazillion a year. He has to be their guy. But it doesn't make sense that you're going to cut. And Mac hasn't been durable. And Bailey proved he can at least step in the interim and
Bailey
play
will
darn
get
good
picked
quarterback.
up.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Bailey Zappi, Will Greer.
Bailey's played legitimate NFL games, not the last preseason game to show
Fair
what he
statement.
can do.
B. Small says, Baylor has Texas State. I'll take the Bears. Hey, sick 'em Bears. I'll take the Bears in that game.
Go Bobcats. They got a weird hand
No
thing.
chance.
Don't they?
Yeah, it's probably like this. Go Bobcats.
No, that's A&M.
Yeah. A&M's playing LSU, and they're going, whoop, 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 whoop. Makes perfect sense. To them.
Only to them.
To them.
Texas State. And
Aggies have New Mexico this weekend. Not directional New Mexico, the real one, the Lobos coming in. I like the Aggies in that game.
Should.
But wouldn't it be something?
Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't
Which
it?
is more likely, Texas loses to Rice or A&M loses to New Mexico?
Peter McNally having discussions, sidebars with Sheriff Louderback.
Oh,
Asking
and
him to take
that
a
ought to
private
be
call
that
from
ought
him
to be a
regarding the border
well.
situation.
Now here we have our own Sheriff Louderback talking about the border, where he's been boots on the ground, works through the GLO, has worked with Mayorkas, has worked with the Texas Sheriff's Regional Alliance. Peter McNally wants to talk to Sheriff Louderback about how he feels about the border. I just don't believe that 20 million people have crossed our border. Yes, they have.
We don't know what Peter wants.
Yes, they have. H.R. Mallory found out. I found out yesterday. I ran into H.R.'s bride at HEB and found out that H.R. is now working in Corpus.
Yeah, he's down. This is a blow for Victoria.
It is a blow
really
for
is.
Victoria.
I mean, I miss him.
Yes.
Used to have lunch every once in a while. Next time you're in town, HR. Brent says, HR says, Brent, you don't have to understand it. Just keep writing them checks. That's exactly it.
That's
the
exactly
one,
right.
the other move that I don't understand in the NFL is, and there were a few, but the Indianapolis Colts, and this is just pure revenge. And I don't know how this does not end up in court somewhere. Jonathan Taylor, running back, said he wants out of Indianapolis. Can't blame him because the Ursi kids are just blowing that team all way, shapes, or forms into a mound of nothing.
Right.
So they put him on. They declare him physically unable to perform, and now you can't even trade him to start the season because since he's on that list, he has to sit out 4 games.
Doesn't that just
This
allow
week's-
them to keep him on the roster? They're still paying him.
Yeah, but he wants out, and they said that he, it's gotten to the point now. Are they going to play him? Would you, if you're Jonathan, would you play for Indianapolis at this point?
No.
The way they've treated you?
No. I would just tell them I'm too hurt to play and keep collecting their money for doing nothing. It's kind of like I do in the insurance business. I'd like to make calls. I'm just hurt.
You said it.
Right?
U.S. Open began yesterday. Venus Williams got in as a wild card and got out as a wild card. Did not looked
She's
every
like
bit of
43 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
looked every bit of it.
unless
yesterday.
you're Justin Verlander, go to the house. She's got more money than Verlander.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna. I think she's done. I don't know if she was hoping to make sort of a little bit of a run before her departure. Major League Baseball. I don't know what you can do about what happens in Chicago, and unless you physically transport the White Sox and their stadium out of Southside crappy Chicago.
Yeah. It's a cesspool. It's where Barack Obama's from.
Yeah.
He's done so much
Or
great
you
work.
declare the White Sox are now going to play all their games at Wrigley Field.
They're not welcome.
They're going to
on
become
north side.
they're going to be no, they're not. They're going to become the Montreal White Sox for the rest of
Yeah.
the season. But I don't know what Major League Baseball can do other than maybe play all day games going forward to avoid the BS that becomes Southside Chicago when the lights go on.
2 women suffered gunshot wounds. What do you want to bet these were? Just probably not a couple of white girls walking downtown Chicago. Probably wasn't. You're in the rough part of Chicago. You're a rough group of people. Probably had nothing to do with the ball game. Guaranteed rate field. Guaranteed death field
Yeah.
on Friday night.
But what happened at Coors Field,
What is that about?
I don't know. Ronald Acuna got knocked down by a
He's a great
couple of
player.
fans. Great player for the Braves.
fans rushing on the field and knocking him down, I think there ought to be people armed with rubber bullets. I would not. You cannot. The players can't go in the stands like the NBA, and the fans can't come on the field. Looking back, you've seen those two idiots that ran around and were patting Hank Aaron on the hat.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
He had received death threats earlier in his career.
He wasn't sure. He didn't know what was going on with that. Exactly.
They were saying, hey, man, we're going to kill you when you pass Babe Ruth's record.
Yeah.
Dropping N-bombs on him. It's just crazy stuff.
But, and let's be honest, those guys that stand down on the field in their CSC events, yellow jackets, they don't
cops.
intimidate. They don't stop anybody.
And they're not fast. You ever notice how the streaker's always faster than the guy chasing him?
He's got less clothes on and less fat.
I do love it, though, when a player has just had enough. Like, you've come into my office, and now you're disrupting my workplace, and they just give the guy a shiver, wham,
Yeah.
just drop him. I love that.
But, I mean, what's the solution for Major League Baseball? Put the netting around the whole field so you can't get around it, and now nobody can get a home run ball?
You don't change the overall fan experience because of a handful of knuckleheads. You just don't do it. What you do is you do what Major League Baseball has done, is they don't exploit it. They don't show it on TV. You're not going to get your 2 minutes of fame running around naked on TV.
Yeah. But is it Major League Baseball's purview
Yes.
to review every ballpark security now
Yes.
in the wake of what happened at Coors Field? Is it not the Colorado Rockies' responsibility to make sure that they've got the security in place and the measures in place to make sure that fans are not running on
I
the
think
field?
the MLBPA, the Players Association, should form a committee. They should lay out the standards, and the standards should be imparted to the venue ownership. Say, you will maintain, you will have, for every 10 feet of exposed fence, you will have one security guard, that type of stuff. And I think they need little scooters with them little red hats and a fez thing. Get the Shriners out there. You just herd them back to the bullpen.
This didn't happen when we had bullpen carts.
Right. 100%.
Just saying.
Yes, I think there should be a standard of security, and the local venue should be responsible for making sure that standard is met.
Okay.
This is not Canada. We don't live in anarchy. Here by Moose Nuts, Ontario.
Let's move knuckle.
Oh, I forgot.
Get it right.
Moose knuckle. Makes a camel toe leave the room.
Brent Anderson, good morning. Scott Tombo says gas-powered carts with grill guards. Absolutely, so you can knock them down.
Like that.
Oh, like
Something
cattle,
like at a speed racer.
or like the cattle guards on the front of trains.
Remember Speed Racer with the powerful Mark V, and it had those blades that would cut. And he was racing through the
That'll stop
forest.
you. That'll stop the next person from running on the field. If you go up and you've got a blade going and you just chop the leg off that guy that's running on the field.
We could just go full Islam and just behead the guy at second base. Just lop his head off.
I think you just take his leg off at the knee and
Nice.
he'll never forget it.
I like it. In other news, a fan was decapitated today at Comiskey. That'd be great stuff,
It's not that far-fetched in Southside Chicago.
right? Where Bad Leroy Brown
He
and,
was from there. No
and
wonder.
Jim and Big Bad Jim and Slim live.
All
Folks,
friends of Joe Biden.
Allen's Record Service.
Popcorn was probably there, too.
578. See, he played with the hair on my legs. 578-6300. That's Allen's Record Service.
Roach he was.
Let Allen help you get where you need to be. They're the go-to toe-to the VCS company's power. The Wade and Carter program. There it is right there. Sancho's phone.
361-894-4020. Give us a call if you want.
Yeah, don't be scared.
No, don't be scared.
Chestnut Furniture, Chestnut and Love, make your house a home. You just always do better at Chestnut. And today, of course, internationally known, universally respected, Veracruz Restaurant, the best Mexican food in Victoria. It's called a Wednesday.
It is called a Wednesday.
Today's a great day. When it's chilly like this morning,
69 degrees this morning.
in there.
I'm sure the Ugg boots and Han Solo outfits will be out this morning.
Man, yeah, the leggings. So they have the black leggings And then the full, like the sweater that covers the hips with little fringe around the bottom.
And the vest.
And then the high boots.
And the high boots.
Nice. Welcome to fall.
High today, 103.
Right. I just put this whole thing, I just put these Uggs on to take the kids to school. Yeah. What's worse, though, is the women with what is it that lets a woman think that just because she has a tummy tuck, that means that she can tuck that tummy into those yoga pants? Just because she tucks all that down in there, what makes her think that's a look that you need out in public?
You're going to be at Veracruz tonight for dinner.
There you go.
Ryland's birthday dinner.
Anybody wants to come by and see us, we'll be at Veracruz for Ryland's birthday. Come on by and tell him.
Get the Caldo.
There you go.
Birthday Caldo. Candles don't do well in there, though.
No.
Simply
What is it, though, that you've seen it? You know you've seen it when a woman buys those. They're not even jeggings. They're those leggings. They're yoga pants, and you can still see the cottage cheese dimples on their butt when they're walking. What is that all about?
I don't know. I don't look. I try to avert my eyes so the retinas aren't burned.
You avert. There are things you can't unsee. You don't want to see me in yoga pants. I'm not judging the ladies. I'm just saying.
Half the crowd today doesn't want to see you in your Steve Irwin outfit.
My zoo look.
Yeah.
This is just my rustic outdoor. It's almost bird season. I'm just GSM Insurers. Proud
Friday?
sponsor of
Is
me.
Friday dove season opens?
I think so. Not here. Cody Bauman says, I'm jealous. Cody, I'd like to see you in some yoga pants. That'd be a sight. Speaking of camel toe.
Speaking of cottage cheese.
He tucks. I joke.
Junior Sample says those are legging stress testers.
Right?
Oh, they're just testing. That's what they're doing. They're working.
Look at that. Dawn's just chiming in. The dad woke up early. We covered that earlier in the program.
Wake up earlier, Dawn, and you'll hear all that.
She's not here. Dawn is like the epitome of not a morning person. I'm like, good morning. And she's like that guy in, remember the Mel Gibson movie with Sam Elliott? We were soldiers and we were young. I'm like, good morning, Dawn. How the hell do you know what kind of morning it is? Shut up and leave me alone. I'll talk to you about 11.
Too early to tell you
right?
what kind of morning it's going to be already.
Did you take your pills? This morning she walked in. I'd made bacon and eggs, and then I made Ryland loves those little Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, and I'd made some. And man, when they're fresh and they're soft, you know, and I just got one, and she walks by and she pokes me. Cinnamon roll? The struggle is real, Ash.
I can understand it.
The struggle is real. There you go. Taylor Swift becomes the first female artist to top 100 million Spotify monthly listeners.
100 million listeners in a month.
So if you get a penny a listen, just say she got a penny a listen.
100, that's 100 million pennies.
Right, which is
$1 million.
$1 million a day. Several drug manufacturers have filed lawsuits challenging the law. The law is, I don't know.
The law is forcing drugs to be part of the Medicare program.
They're dropping the prices on drugs. I don't have a problem with this. However,
blood thinners, diabetes drugs, heart failure drugs, rheumatoid arthritis drugs, blood cancer, and inflammation. Together, these drugs, according to the story, account for about 20% of Medicare Part D spending in the last year. $50.5 billion.
So you and I, in order for me to go against my typical pro-capitalism stance, the market will ferret it out. The market will make it work out. You have to suspend reality, and for just a moment, you have to buy in that pharma is big pharma, and they're making so much money at our expense that it's okay for the government to limit their income. That is a slippery slope to get upon.
Well, that's what the drug because the drug manufacturers have 30 days to agree to participate in the program, and then they'll negotiate the cost of the drugs over the next year, or they face potential tax penalties. This is the weaponization of the IRS at the corporate level.
That's what it is. And see, you may say, and it always comes back to some very basic tenets. It's easy for us to say, screw Big Pharma, they make too much money already. Okay, you can take that position if you want. When they came for Big Pharma, I didn't care because I wasn't Big Pharma. When they came for the automakers, I didn't care because I paid too much for a car. But when they came for insurance, there was nobody left to stand up for me. And that's where we're facing. Whatever you do for a living, if they decide tomorrow that, well, polypropylene is just too damn expensive, well, Formosa, wow, no more raises for the plant workers. No more. Your health benefits start to deteriorate because they just can't afford to pay you what they used to pay you. Thank you, federal government. Pretty soon we all work for the government. Dawn says she didn't eat. That's why you're grumpy.
Doesn't like your cooking.
She does like my cooking. She likes just about anything I do in the kitchen except in the morning.
There you go. How about this one?
Okay.
1,600 scientists plus from all around the world have all declared and signed a declaration dismissing the existence of a climate crisis, insisting that carbon dioxide is beneficial to the Earth.
There is no climate emergency, the Global Climate Intelligence Group said in its World Climate Declaration. Climate science should be less political, while climate policy should be more specific. Scientists should openly address uncertainties and exaggerations in their predictions of global warming, while politicians should dispassionately count the real costs as well as the imagined benefits of their policy measures.
Their benefits are not imagined. The benefits are realized by the Al Gores of the world who are getting rich off selling carbon credits. To think that I can sell India carbon credits to offset their massive pollution because folks in the U.S. have to cut their consumption of everything in order to generate the carbon credits is just a complete bunch of bull.
The coalition pointed out that Earth's climate has varied as long as it has existed, with the planet experiencing several cold and warm phases. The Little Ice Age only ended as recently as 1850. They said, therefore, it is no surprise that we're experiencing a period of warming. They also said warming is happening far slower than predicted by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. The left wants a crisis so the left can legislate a solution. The solution will always cost somebody money.
Yeah.
It will always
and
go
who
to
does
the
it,
government.
who, yeah,
Always
who
to
does
the
it
government.
cost money? Us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Michelle Wilson Hawkins checking in from Mackinac, Michigan.
Nice. Weather should be nice there.
I think that's an island you got to get to by boat. Like there's no other way to get there.
Right. Very romantic. She's like on perpetual honeymoon.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for them.
Carrie Bump, good morning. I mean, are these the scientists that are standing up for like actual science? They say they're anti-political, but there's obviously a political bent to it a little bit, right?
Yes.
But 1,600, that seems like a large number, but is it in relation to, if there's only 1,700 scientists in the world and the other 100 have been the ones propagating global warming, but if there's, I don't know how many scientists there are. 1,600 seems like a large number, but
that 321 from the U.S. And scientists are like doctors. I mean, they're not swayed by their political beliefs. They're like going, this is ridiculous.
I think the climate change ones are, to be honest.
Well, they're skewed towards panic.
They're skewed to whichever way the research dollars tend to lead them these days.
True story.
And when those research dollars are tied to federal and state governments, then they tend to be more skewed and loyal to those governments. Yeah. I don't believe the independent research that science was built on and based on truly exists like it used to. Yeah, Noel's checking in. Good morning to you. Junior Samples says he's thinking it's too easy to lose the good fight to large money.
Yeah.
I'd like to lose that fight one day, Junior.
I wish somebody come in and pay me a lot of money to do anything.
Scott Tomko sums it up beautifully. They're skewed and we get screwed.
That's a true story.
Absolutely.
There's my oldest. Hello, Kendall Carter.
Morning, Kendall.
I had more people this last week, and Kendall was in town. They go, that's just you. That's you. So, well, yeah, it's genetics, babe.
Yeah. She is you, though.
She is. She's awesome.
She's just like
She's a better version of me. Much more empathetic, much more patient.
much more attractive.
Much more kind. Yeah. She's not skewed by all the stuff I've seen. You know, she's still
she hasn't
still
seen
a
it
believer.
yet. When she sees it, though.
By the way, you need a Cadillac. You need anything. Go to Sewell.com. You can buy it at Atzenoffer too. I'm not saying anything about Atzenoffer. I'm saying that my daughter works at Sewell. You can give her a call. Kendall Carter,
give her a
she'll
plug
hook
so
you up.
She can stay off your payroll.
Right? She's big boy. I'm on her payroll. I just want an override. I should have made her sign her a contract way back when.
Should have.
10% over anything, over your monthly needs. I'd be set.
College football this weekend. NFL football next weekend. Kicks off Thursday. Detroit, Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins that.
Yeah,
a lot of eyes are going to be on Detroit this year, though. I think because they traded for Matt. They traded away Matt Stafford. Stafford goes to L.A., wins the Super Bowl. They got Jared Goff. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Detroit.
I think they're supposed to be pretty good.
I think they'll be better than people think, but I don't know if it'll be enough to silence the critics and keep them going forward. I think if Detroit doesn't somehow get maybe to the NFC Conference Finals this year, then they blow it up and start.
Dallas plays at New York on NBC.
Yep, Sunday night. I think I've called that as I think we picked the Cowboys. Did we pick the Cowboys to win that one? I don't remember now.
I do now. No significant
Cowboys
injuries.
to win that one?
Yeah, no significant injuries during the silly season.
They'll all happen in that game. Jeremy Pena, good morning from South Georgia. Take care, Jeremy. I know that weather's going to head your way.
Yeah, be careful out there, JP. Yes, B Small ass was she in Astros gear all weekend. She's a huge Astros fan.
Yep.
Yes, she was in Astros gear. It's funny. You watch those guys just so athletic. You forget that Alex Bregman's 6 feet tall. You forget that Jeremy Pena is like over 6'3", and if he's wearing steel spikes and walks up next to you somewhere, like at the mall with his cleats on, he's like a huge man. That's one big mecanito. I ain't lying. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Hello, Houston. I'm Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros. When I'm in town, my favorite food is okay.
Listen to some of these wonderful matchups this weekend in college football. Eastern
Howard.
Michigan and Howard.
Tickets as low as $12. Look at this. Tickets as low as $7.
Miami and Miami. Miami of Ohio at Miami at the U.
Yeah.
Kansas and Missouri State. Hawaii, fresh off their one touchdown loss to Vanderbilt, taking on Stanford. Hawaii could win that one. Not going to lie.
Stanford. Tennessee's number 12. Who's Michigan? Number 2 Michigan plays East Carolina at home.
Yeah, that'll be a stomp.
Wow. East Tennessee State versus Jacksonville State. Do they just go away now that primetime has left?
We'll see. I don't know. I think.
And will Colorado be any good?
I think Dion's shtick was wearing thin in.
I think it was too. He's not a compliance guy.
Not really, no.
How about UT Martin playing Georgia? Why does Georgia? I mean, this is somewhat rhetorical. This is the dumbest thing ever for Georgia, essentially an NFL team, to play UT Martin.
Especially off the field.
Yeah.
UT Martin sounds like they should have like a NASCAR training program.
Right?
Doesn't it?
This weekend, our club team's going to Talladega. A&M plays New Mexico. Number 23, A&M. Number 24, Tulane plays South Alabama.
Sam Houston travels to BYU. Incarnate Words at UTEP.
Western Illinois
there's a
plays
ripping
New
game.
Mexico State.
Battle of the Western States. Idaho State, San Diego State.
Who does
Alabama plays Middle Tennessee. We covered that
UT
one.
San Antonio play?
It's a good question. I don't know.
There they are. There was.
There it is.
At U of H. Now, that could be a
that's
ball
right.
game
Yeah, that
right
could be
there.
a bit of a ball game. It's on Fox Sports 1, too.
Tickets as cheap as $5. I ain't lying.
This will be a good game, I think, actually. Washington State at Colorado State.
Yeah.
Go Cougs.
UTSA at U of H. Could be good.
Will Vincent with the bold prediction says Dak goes down with injury in game 2.
Well, they're saying Trey Lance will be the guy, and
Eventually,
ultimately
but
could
still,
be
it's Cooper
the
Rush
guy.
right now.
Cooper Rush is okay, but I liked Will Greer a lot. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, but again, one preseason game. I mean, he played all preseason, but he didn't. I mean, let's be honest. I think he showed that he's worth a look. But unless you're a bottom feeder with nothing to gain all season, if you're a team that you think has a legitimate chance to make the playoffs, are you going to give Will Greer a chance in a game that means something to show if he can actually play in the NFL during the regular season?
I don't know. Peter McNally says Texas Tech versus Wyoming is in Laramie. Is Wyoming going to be any good? The Cowboys, they going to be any good?
I think that they were pretty good last year. I think
Jay
they'll
Novacek
be better.
still playing
Yeah.
tight end up there?
I think they'll be all right.
Brian Small says, let me know if y'all need a guy. Folks, you need to get a little action on a ball game. Reach out.
Reach out to be small.
You can always message Be Small.
He'll help you out with it. Whoa, what
He
the
will help
heck
you. He
was
knows
that?
a guy.
Yeah. No, he knows a guy. Shopping block today. Get over there. Don't forget, get your burgers for this weekend.
Oh, did you see the latest?
$7 a burger, Wagyu beef, and they've got. I mean, and they've got burgers stuffed with things. Jalapeno. What was it? Jalapeno cheddar.
What about right here? Happy Labor Day weekend. We have ribeyes on sale.
Ribeyes now.
Ribeyes on sale for $13.99 a pound. That is, I tell you what, cut whatever thickness you want. We'll run these bad boys through the weekend. Also,
boy.
fresh Wagyu zucchini boats with Rosewood Ranch's ground beef in them.
Oh boy.
Come load down on fresh meat for the
I
holiday
might have to
weekend.
stop by there this week.
$13.99 a pound. Look at those ribeyes. Just beautiful.
Those are marbled.
Look at that.
Beautifully.
Man, those look.
I eat that piece right there.
You like that?
Oh, I love that. I get that nice and crispy.
Oh,
I'll take my gloved hand and hold the tongs and turn it and get that fat nice and sizzled, and then I eat that.
what would
It's so
happen?
good.
I'm not saying it would be a smart thing to do, but what would happen if you chicken fried? If you cut a ribeye thin and chicken fried it?
Waste of a ribeye,
I agree.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Because nothing looks quite as good on that cream gravy as a little river of blood.
No.
Because you
Mixes
chicken
in.
fry it.
Your
medium
gravy
rare.
becomes pink.
Gravy. You need some gravy.
White Trash Services. We saw BJ and Scott Nelson last night and had a good time celebrating the 5th anniversary of Thrive Fuel. The folks that are behind South Texas TV, lots of things happening over there. Check out their channels and all the social media.
I went down yesterday and watched a gentleman on a cat excavator
Yep.
just destroy a house on South Wheeler.
Really?
I mean, that lot, it is smooth. It
White
is
Trash
done.
Services doing the demolition there.
It is crazy. They had that house. The house was down to being loaded into the roll off in 20 minutes.
And they had that site cleaned up and cleared by noon.
It's
Half
amazing.
a day is all it
It's
took.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they can do that for you, whether it's a barn or whatever. It's just the sounds it just lets you know how susceptible we are to things like hurricane, because seeing this thing it would hit it and walls would just fall over. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Go by and check it out.
You have a kid who's enamored by machinery, a young kid, take them to something like that. Just let them sit there and watch for half
Yeah.
a day.
Pretty cool.
Beats sticking an iPad in their hands.
True story. Special thanks to all our sponsors.
I think we've covered them all this
We
morning,
have.
haven't
We have, and they're a great group. They've been great to
That
us.
was the last one we had to cover.
By
those
the way,
two.
if you'd like to advertise, if we use you, if we shop with you or trade with you, if you would like to let White Trash be like a reference for us,
Scott Tomko says chicken fried ribs.
we'd love it. Chicken fried ribs. Pork ribs?
Beef ribs?
I don't know. My mom used to dust flour onto a pork chop and kind of chicken fry that. A little cream gravy. You can feed a lot of people that way. It's cheap. Oh.
Gets a little bit more.
Scott Tompkins says, better believe it. That's the real deal.
Try that. Speaking of ribs, the Chinese restaurants back home do those little like dry ribs. I have not found them down here. They're so good. Don't know how they do
Chinese restaurants?
Yeah.
Because those are cats.
Oh, is that what they are?
Those are cat ribs.
Okay.
Yeah.
No wonder they're so
Or
good.
possum. Raccoon.
Possum. From the Wuhan market.
That's where it all starts.
It all starts there. What
Bat
else?
ribs.
Bat ribs. Bat ribs. Bear with me, folks. Just kind of seeing what else is happening that we need to go through.
That T-shirt we saw the other day where Batman had the laser and he's pointed at Batman's pointing the laser at the ground and Catwoman's on all fours chasing it around. There was some innuendo in there. I kind of liked it.
$250 million more going to aid Ukraine. We also agreed with a deal on and meant to talk about this on Monday and didn't get there, but we just sold a bunch of Apache helicopters to Poland because they're concerned about their border with Belarus. And nobody's talking about the fact that we keep inching closer and closer to, if not a world war, certainly other countries in Europe getting involved in the skirmish between Russia and Ukraine. And now we're throwing another $250 million in additional military aid. We're pushing $50 billion that we have given to the Ukraine since that invasion began almost 2 years ago, a year and 3/4 ago. I know we had Michael Atkinson on the other day, but at some point, enough's enough?
Could be. I don't know. Here's the deal. There's more to that story than we know. Otherwise, it would be over.
And where is the $43 billion? I mean, I get it, but not a dime of that should have gone into anybody's bank account, and you know it did.
So I'm going to throw this out there. If B Small will come to South Texas, we'll get Scotty Tomko and Junior Samples and me and you, and we'll get together and fry some ribs and see how it goes.
Sounds good. We'll get the ribs from Chop and Block.
Yeah.
Go from there. Scotty Tomko says you sliced and fried them.
Get Sean Neely to sub in as kind of a consultant.
So the first domino was fallen on the Republican primary season.
Your guy.
Francis Suarez, who I liked. I listened to him on an interview. He didn't make the first debate stage, which is probably too bad because I truly believe after listening to him, he might have been in the top half of the, 9 that were on that stage. And I think Larry Elder's another guy that deserves to be on that stage. They bring good ideas, but Francis Suarez, 2-time mayor of Miami. Think about the transformation in Miami. This is a guy, Cuban refugee, or family of a Cuban refugee. Conservative, gets elected as mayor in Miami twice.
Yeah.
He has done something to attract himself to conservative voters.
Free cocaine.
Or I should say to Democrat voters to convince them to vote for him, yet that's not compelling enough for the RNC to put on the stage. That tells you how bad and out of touch the RNC is with their base and with where conservatives are in this country.
But isn't Larry Elder, for example, isn't he a guy that's kind of like a bad location for a restaurant? People get used to not going there. Isn't Larry Elder a guy that you and I might agree, boy, he's sharp. And he clicks a couple of boxes, checks them all. Sharp guy, unelectable.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate. He's running
Francis
for everything.
Suarez is not unelectable. He's
Right.
been mayor of Miami twice. But the RNC just can't figure out a way to help him get where he needs to be to get on the debate stage because I think they were afraid of him. And I think the powers that run that and some of those candidates were also afraid of him because what he says makes too much sense, and it would upset the power balance on the apple cart that is the Republican Party nationally.
Scott Tompkins says put a little Tony Sacheries in that batter for some heat.
So anyway, Francis Suarez has dropped out of the race.
I'll make the charcuterie board.
There you go. Please do. I want to see your little.
Let's do it.
I want to see your little salami flowers.
I'll make some baked potatoes, or some creamed potatoes.
Sure.
Right, a little
Sounds
sour
good.
cream in there, salt and pepper, a little butter.
We're already at the top of the hour.
It's top of the hour, folks. You got to get ready for the
Yep, there's our
Great
top of the
one.
hour music.
Hall of Famer, Brother Gary Moses.